In an era where numerous countries are reinforcing their borders, a constituent part of the United Kingdom is conveying a markedly different message. As the UK government rolls out more stringent immigration regulations, Scotland is concurrently running a campaign to attract more individuals to relocate, find employment, and establish their lives within its territory. The proposals are not for minor adjustments, but for a fundamental restructuring, which includes the creation of a new Scottish visa. This increasing policy divergence prompts significant questions. What are the motivations behind Scotland's distinct approach? What are the detailed proposals being considered, and what implications might they hold for skilled professionals, learners, families, and the broader outlook for migration to the UK? This analysis moves past the headlines to dissect the specifics of Scotland's ambitious strategy. To grasp why Scotland is pursuing this direction, one must first appreciate its distinct set of challenges. In contrast to the other UK nations, Scotland confronts a major demographic problem. Forecasts indicate that without new residents, its population is projected to shrink. All of Scotland's population growth over the upcoming 25 years is expected to be driven by migration. A growing elderly population and a low birth rate translate to a smaller workforce to stimulate the economy, generate tax revenue, and support essential public services like the National Health Service. The Scottish Government asserts that the UK's uniform immigration policy, a power reserved to the Westminster Government, is not only failing to meet these needs but is exacerbating them. They argue that centering the discussion exclusively on cutting net migration figures is counterproductive. The emphasis, they believe, should be on how immigration can address the specific requirements of the economy, public services, and local communities. This core disagreement has spurred a raft of bold proposals, articulated in policy documents such as Building a New Scotland, which presents a vision for an immigration system founded on principles of Chin That Tea, equity, respect, and economic necessity. Central to these propositions is the idea of a Scottish visa. This would not aim to substitute the UK system, but to function as a supplementary, customised pathway for individuals wishing to live and work specifically in Scotland. The Scottish Government has suggested a partnership with the UK Government to implement this. So, what would set it apart? A primary characteristic is that it could be an unsponsored work visa, allowing individuals to relocate to Scotland based on their own qualifications without a pre-arranged job offer. The criteria could encompass elements like age, educational background, professional skills, and earning potential. Significantly, one proposal indicates there would be no universal salary requirement for the visa, a direct counter to the UK's progressively high salary thresholds that many Scottish employers struggle to meet. Furthermore, the plan highlights a defined route to permanent residency. The Scottish Government aims to guarantee that those arriving on a Scottish visa can ultimately seek indefinite leave to remain, fostering long-term settlement and community integration. This is integral to a broader strategy of creating rules that welcome people to Scotland rather than deterring them. Another key element of Scotland's proposal involves addressing the financial hurdles of migration. The Scottish Government has been outspoken in its view that the current system places excessive emphasis on a migrant's financial capacity, rather than their potential contributions in skills and talent. Their initial main objective is the steep cost of visas and immigration-related fees. They are urging the UK's Home Office to reduce these charges to a more equitable level, ensuring they do not discourage recruitment. Possibly the most impactful financial proposition is the demand to abolish the immigration health surcharge for migrants in Scotland. The IHS is a compulsory fee, which recently rose to £1,035 per person annually, that most visa applicants must pay for access to the National Health Service. The Scottish position is that this amounts to a double charge. Migrants employed in Scotland already fund the NHS through their taxes and national insurance payments. Requiring them to also pay the IHS means they are essentially paying twice for the same service. Eliminating this fee, it is argued, would position Scotland as a more appealing and fair destination. The proposals also focus on the particular needs of vital sectors, with health and social care being paramount. In early 2024, the UK Government introduced a rule change that bars care workers and senior care workers from bringing dependents, like spouses and children, to the UK. This has had a considerable effect, with data revealing a sharp decline in health and care worker visa applications. The Scottish Government is directly contesting this. They are calling for the reinstatement of dependent visas for care workers in Scotland to enhance both recruitment and retention in this critical field. The reasoning is straightforward. Individuals are more inclined to relocate and stay in a role long-term if they can be accompanied by their families. This naturally introduces complex issues. If Scotland permits dependents for care workers while England does not, could it trigger an internal migration rush to Scotland? How would such a geographically specific regulation be administered and upheld? These are the practical challenges that would need to be addressed. International students and graduates represent another area of focus. The UK government has also limited the ability of most international students to bring dependents, a policy the Scottish Government wants re-evaluated for those studying in Scotland. Furthermore, they are exploring ways to hold on to the talent that attends their internationally recognised universities. This has resulted in the proposal for a Scottish graduate visa. This is not meant to replace the UK's current graduate route visa, which lasts for 2 years, but to augment it. The proposal recommends an additional visa for 2 years for international graduates from Scottish institutions. The logic is to offer a longer bridge for graduates to acquire the professional experience needed to meet the high salary requirements of the main skilled worker visa. With the minimum salary for a skilled worker visa having increased to £38,700, many graduates in sectors outside of high-paying fields find it difficult to qualify in just 2 years. An additional 2 years connected to a Scottish tax code would provide a better opportunity to build their careers and contribute to Scotland's workforce over the long term. This concept has a historical basis. A similar programme named Fresh Talent, working in Scotland, operated successfully from 2005 to 2008. Scotland's proposals are extensive, covering several other domains. To address depopulation in more isolated regions, a rural visa pilot has been put forward. This would enable employers in specified rural areas to sponsor migrant workers with more lenient criteria, such as a lower salary threshold, and a condition to stay in the area for a defined time before obtaining Grade 1 permanent residency. There are also appeals for specific Scottish exemptions to the skilled worker visa salary threshold to assist businesses that cannot match London-level wages, and the universities to be reauthorised as endorsing bodies for the Innovator Founder visa to foster startups. Supporting all of this is a call for improved data sharing from the Home Office to help the Scottish Government better comprehend migration trends and refine its policies accordingly. So, what is the likelihood of any of this materialising? The primary obstacle is that immigration is a power reserved for the UK Parliament in Westminster. Any of these adjustments would necessitate the cooperation and consent of the UK Government. Historically, such proposals have been met with opposition, with the UK Government frequently stressing the necessity of a single immigration policy for the whole country and rejecting the notion of a distinct Scottish cotty-crobble visa. Nevertheless, the discussion underscores a fundamental and escalating tension within the United Kingdom. It represents a collision between a central government concentrated on overall reduction and a devolved administration contending with severe demographic and economic necessities that call for a different approach. Scotland is presenting its case assertively and unambiguously. It contends that it requires more people, not fewer. It is advocating for a more welcoming, adaptable and needs-driven immigration framework. Whether these proposals result in tangible policy shifts or simply stand as a declaration of intent, they have unquestionably altered the landscape of the UK's immigration discourse. The way forward will serve as a crucial test of the relationship between Scotland and Westminster and will ultimately influence the futures of innumerable people aspiring to make Scotland their home.